The crowd inside Jimmy Kimmel Live buzzed with anticipation. The applause sign lit up, and the audience erupted as Brad Pitt emerged from behind the curtain, giving his trademark side smile. The stage lights bounced off his perfectly tailored black jacket, and his aviator shades added a sense of mystery. He gave Jimmy a half hug, the kind celebrities give when cameras are on, warm but calculated. Jimmy opened with small talk, complimenting Pitt's appearance and teasing, "Still aging in reverse, huh? I think you're actually younger than when you did Fight Club." Brad chuckled politely, but his smile didn't reach his eyes. "A good lighting helps," he replied dryly. Then Jimmy shifted gears. "So Brad, let's talk about this new movie. It's a bit of a departure. Small budget, heavy message, no explosions. How very not Hollywood of you." Brad gave eyes a tighter smile. "Sometimes the truth matters more than the ticket sales." That was the first spark. Jimmy grinned, sensing an opportunity to stir the pot. "Yeah, but let's be honest, how many people are going to watch a film about inner city poets when there's another John Wick coming out?" The audience laughed nervously. Brad's body language changed. He adjusted his seat, leaned forward, and said calmly, "Not every film needs to blow something up to say something meaningful. Some of us still believe in storytelling." The tension thickened. Kimmel cracked a joke to diffuse the moment. "Well, I guess that's why you're still winning Oscars, and I'm still telling jokes for rent money." It earned laughs, but Brad remained stoic. He wasn't there for banter tonight, and Jimmy was about to learn that the hard way. Brad's calm facade began to crack as Jimmy's questions edged closer to his personal life, veiled under the guise of humor. Jimmy smirked and said, "So, Brad, between all these indie films and humanitarian work, do you ever have time to just kick back and, enjoy the Hollywood party scene? Or has fatherhood put you on permanent timeout?" The audience chuckled, but Brad's expression hardened. He stared directly at Jimmy, voice low but firm. "I don't see the point in glorifying the chaos. Life's about choices, and I'm proud of the path I'm on. Maybe some people should think about that before making jokes." Jimmy's grin faltered for the first time, sensing the mood shift. But instead of backing down, he pressed on. "Fair enough. But you gotta admit, you've got a reputation for being a bit intense. Some say you're hard to work with." Brad's eyes narrowed slightly. "I'm intense because I care. Maybe that's the problem for some people who don't want to put in the effort." The audience's laughter turned to uneasy silence. Jimmy glanced at the producers but stayed in his chair, trying to regain control. Trying to lighten the mood, Jimmy launched into another question. "All right, Brad, last one. What's your take on all these Hollywood feuds? You ever find yourself in the middle of the drama?" Brad's voice was cool but sharp. "Drama is a distraction. I'm here to make movies, not headlines. Maybe it's time some folks started focusing on their work instead of stirring trouble." A tense pause filled the studio. Jimmy leaned back, smiling tightly, but clearly rattled. Brad stood up, adjusted his jacket, and said, "I think that's enough for tonight." Without waiting for a response, he strode off the stage, leaving a stunned audience and a speechless host behind. The studio remained silent for a moment after Brad Pitt's abrupt exit. Jimmy Kimmel, regaining his composure, tried to address the unexpected turn. "Wow, folks, that was something," Jimmy said, forcing a chuckle that didn't quite reach his eyes. The audience shifted uncomfortably in their seats, unsure whether to applaud or stay quiet. Backstage, the tension was palpable. Producers hurriedly communicated with Brad's team, but the actor had already left the building. Rumors began swirling instantly on social media, with clips of the heated exchange going viral within minutes. Meanwhile, Brad retreated to a quiet corner of a nearby cafe, away from the cameras and flashing lights. His mind raced, not with anger but with frustration. He had hoped to keep the conversation light, but felt the questions were veiled attempts to provoke and sensationalize his personal life. His phone buzzed relentlessly with messages from close friends and colleagues, some expressing support, others urging him to smooth things over. Back in the studio, Jimmy sat in his chair, the smile long gone. The producers scrambled to fill the time slot, pulling in a last-minute musical guest to salvage the show's mood. The media frenzy was just beginning. Headlines splashed phrases like "Brad Pitt walks out of Jimmy Kimmel show" and "fiery clash on late-night TV" across the internet. Both sides faced a dilemma: how to handle the fallout from a night that was supposed to be fun but turned into a public confrontation. As the news of Brad Pitt's walkout spread, public opinion quickly polarized. Some fans praised Brad for standing his ground and refusing to be baited into uncomfortable territory, calling him brave and authentic. Others criticized the actor for what they saw as unprofessional behavior on a nationally televised show. Jimmy Kimmel, meanwhile, faced questions from the press about whether the confrontation was planned or an unfortunate breakdown. He released a measured statement expressing regret over how the interview ended, but reaffirmed his respect for Brad as a talented artist. In the days following, both Brad and Jimmy appeared on separate talk shows and interviews, each carefully navigating the narrative. Brad spoke candidly about boundaries in celebrity interviews and the pressure of living under a microscope. Jimmy reflected on the challenges of balancing entertainment with respect for guests. Behind the scenes, teams worked quietly to mend fences. Rumors of a possible joint public appearance to clear the air surfaced, but were met with cautious optimism. The incident sparked widespread conversations about celebrity privacy, media ethics, and the delicate dance of late-night interviews. Social media buzzed with memes, debates, and fan theories, turning the fiery showdown into a cultural moment. Ultimately, the night served as a reminder that even the biggest stars and the most seasoned hosts can clash when personal lines are crossed. Yet it also highlighted the power of honest dialogue, even when it's messy, to push conversations forward. The story wasn't just about a walkout, it was about respect, boundaries, and the human side behind the spotlight. And in that, both Brad Pitt and Jimmy Kimmel left a lasting impression on and off the stage.